Hello everyone, this is Krishna Trivedi. We will be starting with the webinar on Engineers Day very soon. Just give us 2 minutes. Uh, Shivam, please check if all the guest speaker, Lalit sir, Rohit sir, and Aditya sir, and Chandna Yadav sir has joined the meeting or not.
Krishna, actually, I'm waiting for them only. I think 2 or 3 people are left yet.
Okay. Hello, sir. We are waiting for Chandna sir to join the meet. Shivam, please start the session. Hello, Shivam.
हाँ पे स्टार्ट कर दो. Yeah, Gopal, actually I'm waiting for Anushka.
Anushka
I
is
thought she
there in
was
the meet.
gonna.
Please make her co-host. Anushka is there in the meet.
Yeah, okay.
अरे यहाँ उधर आवाज है उधर
Anushka, we all are waiting for, to start the session. If
Good evening, everyone. Krishna, can you please confirm that I am audible?
yes, yeah.
I am sorry for the delay. I'm facing serious network issues, so I won't be able to turn on my camera. I extend my apologies to everyone. I I welcome you all to this great evening. I am extremely overwhelmed to get this opportunity to address you all on this auspicious occasion of 51st Engineering Day, which is celebrated to commemorate the birth of legendary engineer M. Visvesaraya. I, Anushika Mishra, on behalf of Together We Dream, welcomes you all to the webinar to mark the contribution of engineer in the development of the society and to discuss about the scope of engineering and other aspects. We are extremely honored and feel privileged to have our esteemed chief guest with us. We have with us Aditya Bhatnagar sir. Sir is senior partner at the Mindcrafters STEM Education. Sir has 30 years of industrial experience and is IIT Delhi alumnus. We also have with us Yadav Chandan sir. Sir is director Sai Products and Graphic Private CEO. Seffins and OA Prince nominated for National Award for Innovations. Sir is also IIT Delhi alumnus. We also have with us Dr. Lalit Kumar sir. Sir is convener of Hindu College Innovation Council. And Dr. Rohit Singh Lathar sir, head ME Department of North Cap University, University in Gurgaon, alumnus IIT Delhi. I also welcome Ratnesh Mishra sir, founder, president IDYM, and Dr. Updesh Verma sir as national coordinator NEEF Foundation. With this, I would like to hand over the mic to Mr. Shivam Srivastav, Vice President of Together We Dream, to start with the session.
Thank you, Anushka, for the lovely introduction. Uh, I would like to thank all of you for coming here and on this great day and welcoming you all for this webinar. Uh, Together We Dream is in Together We Dream has been hosting these kinds of webinar for a very long time with the help of NEEF Foundation as well as IDYM. These guys have been great support for us, and with the help of these webinars and these events, we try to help students of different schools and colleges to gain the expertise of the professionals from different fields. Like today, we are hosting Engineers Day on the that only we have been doing these events for the past 1 year with the help of IDYM and NEEF Foundation. So my first question would be for every one of you, being an engineer or being in the engineering field, can you tell us what does it mean to be an engineer so that the other students who are joining and the aspirant engineers with us can get the glimpse of what is what it is to be an engineer? Anyone can answer actually.
So, being an engineer, I'd like to. This is a very good question, I think.
So for different people, engineering can mean different things when we say as engineers. So it could be, typically working in a software organization. It could be maybe designing a vehicle, maybe testing a car on the road, maybe running a entrepreneur activity, maybe being an entrepreneur, maybe serving the government in a government institution, driving the infrastructure of the country, like building road and bridges, driving railways. But there's a very famous quote by a scientist. So he says that engineers built the world that was never there. Okay. So scientists study the world, but engineers create the world that was never there. So this is one thing. So which as an engineer, we are able to contribute to the society. And being a mechanical engineer, so as they say for mechanical engineers, that they are jack of all trades and master of none. So we are into everything. We are into computers. We are into automotive sector. We are into scientific also, developing materials also. So as a mechanical engineer and specialization in automotive engineering, and then PhD in energy engineering and energy studies. So I feel I can contribute to so many sectors, like developing new ways of providing renewable energy and developing renewable systems, like working on hydrogen as a fuel or compressed natural gas fuel. So this is my perception of things, that and I totally agree with the quote that engineers build the world that never was there. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the insight. Uh, I think I would like to ask everyone here, uh, to our speakers, like when did you decided to become engineer? What was the push you got? Like now I'm gonna do engineering, or what was it? A moment or a or a time period where you decided that I want to be an engineer. This is what I am interested in this field or that field, or it was just getting into the college and then you decided, okay, I'm gonna go in this field, or I'm gonna become an entrepreneur or something like that. If you can share your journey.
For me, I'm a second generation engineer in my family. Like my father is also a mechanical engineer, and then I was inspired. And in as a child, even in the school, I started tinkering with things. So everybody assumed, and everybody thought that obviously he is tinkering with things, he is playing with things, and you know, most of the time I would take up things, and disassemble them. I would have a disassembly of things, either be it electrical, like a transformer in home, or a stabilizer, or some other things that were there in the home. So I would just open them up, maybe a transistor. I would take a screwdriver, because these things were handily available to me, because my father was a mechanical engineer, so we also had toolboxes at home. So I would just open them, and then it was just by I also thought mechanical engineering could be a good career option for me. It is not that it was an assumption or it was just because somebody in my family is a mechanical engineer. So I had identified some of my traits which were towards the engineering side. So one of the very important aspect of engineering mindset is tinkering with the stuff which is available to you. You believe in building something, creating something with whatever things which are available to you. So that was the time when I decided that I could take a mechanical engineering career. And then I took up my graduation in mechanical engineering. So this is how I started my journey towards identifying my passion for tinkering with things, building something, making something new, and there's also a lot of thought process which was involved. And then how can I make a new thing? Maybe how can I make a better car, or maybe how can I make a better system in which we can generate energy for generating electricity. So all these things were there. So obviously, my father's background as a mechanical engineer played an important role. But then my individual traits towards tinkering also, played a important role in shaping my mindset to take up engineering as a profession.
Thank you, Rohit sir, for the great insight. Lalit sir, would you like to tell us about anything about innovation, or what is it? What is it to be an innovation in engineering? Like we are seeing new fields are coming up in the engineering, and India is also getting way ahead in like space, or software is a very well developed branch in India. So would you like to tell us something about innovation in engineering?
So, good evening, everyone. So, formally, first thing first, I am elated to be a part of this webinar on Engineers Day. It's a privilege to listen to today's chief guest, an expert, Shri Aditya Bhatnagarji and Shri Yadav Chandana ji. Though I represent a non-technical institution, Hindu College University of Delhi, we faculty and students in Hindu College, we constantly try to implement our knowledge and expertise to make innovative products as required by the society at large. Regarding today's time, whereby the students are very much equipped with and or they have access to the knowledge which is there online. Also they can have the hardware part, the software part. So this is the time whereby students can think out of the box and can do many things. So with this zeal, what we tried was during COVID-19 pandemic, we at Hindu College with expert like Dr. Updesh Verma in our team made a UVC disinfection machine, which is one of the world's fastest disinfection machine as certified by DRDO and Shriram Institute of Industrial Research, which is capable of disinfecting any surface from virus, bacteria, fungus, and mold. So why I am telling this is, like, though I am from a non-technical, institution, we also feel like how to contribute, though we are not having such expertise like engineers, but yes, today's generation, whether they are in technical institutions, they are more privileged to have mentors and professors from engineering background. But also the students who are in non-technical institutions, they also feel like that how to contribute in some way or the other. And also I like to thank Dr. Updesh Verma for his excellent initiative, which is NEEV, and it is transforming lives of young children in need, which shows his dedication towards the the needy section of the society. And these students, when they are going to grow up with big dreams, might be they'll be tomorrow's engineers. So in the true sense, Dr. Updesh Verma's initiative, it teaches us how to have a more human approach towards a greater cause of society. So I really feel like that be it any branch or be it any field, from robotics to defense to agriculture, clean drinking water, pollution, everywhere, engineers are doing, the best of their job. And also, I thank Dr. Updesh Verma to team up with Hindu College Innovation Council. So I wish you all a very happy Engineers Day. And I would like to quote Bharat Ratna Shri M. Vishwasraya, science is about knowing and engineering is about doing. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for enlightening us, sir. I would like to thank you all for enlightening us all. As we all can witness, none better than you all can answer the confusions brewing in the young, fearless minds of our youth. When it comes to pursue passion of engineering, which obviously isn't easy job to invent and define. I would like to thank you all for answering the questions. With this, moving forward with the webinar, I would like to request Dr. Updesh Verma, sir. Sir is the coordinator and trustee of NEE Foundation, assistant professor of physics, visiting scientist at Princeton Plasma Physics Lab, USA, BRICS YSF alumni, and PhD IIT Delhi. I would like to request you, sir, to take on the webinar.
Sorry, Anushka, I'm just traveling, so I will be reaching by in 5 minutes. So maybe you can invite Mr. Aditya sir for his address, please.
Sure,
Hello?
sir. Thank you. Sure, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry.
I would like to request Sir Aditya Bhatnagar. Sir is the senior partner at the Mindcrafters STEM Education. Sir has a 30 year of industrial experience and Sir is IIT Delhi alumni. I would like to request you, sir, to enlighten us with your words of wisdom. Please, sir.
Okay, thank you, Anushka, and thank you so much, Updesh, for giving me this opportunity to speak to all of you. And thank you, Dr. Lalit, and spoke right now. And I picked up some points. So let me start with my journey. Anushka very kindly mentioned something about my thing. And there was a question as to how did you get to become an engineer, right? So I think, there are two kinds of love. One is love at first sight. आपने किसी को देखा और इश्क हो गया. And एक है कि it develops over a period of time. So in my case, it was not love at first sight. There was no engineer in my family. And I think with a little effort and lots of luck, I happened to get into IIT Delhi. And once I started doing labs in the IIT, I was really fascinated with so many things, with circuits, with machines, and gradually that developed. And despite so many, you can say attractions later in my career, to leave the area of technology and engineering and become what people call a manager or an administrator. I think right till the end, I stayed my career in the corporate sector. I stayed very close to engineering. And even now, when I interact with young students, I work with school students, I try to inculcate this skill, I would say, or this attitude of engineering. So as somebody, you asked, what is engineering? What is really engineering all about? So as per me, I think engineering is solving human problems. So if you see a problem, and if you're an engineer, whether you have a BTech or an MTech or a BA or just a matriculate, it doesn't matter. If you're able to solve a human problem, you're an engineer. You're doing engineering. And, that's what engineering is all about. It's about solving, making life easier for humans. And over the evolution of humans, or over the, sort of million odd years that perhaps we've been on the earth, we as a species have engineering is the kind of evidence that you see all around us, which has made us superior lots of almost every other species in the world. And I hope we can be superior as well as responsible. But that's, I think, another story I'll come to later. But if you look at right from a wheel, people always quote a wheel is something. And the wheel is wonderful because it's not something just that rolls. And there's a lot of science as to why. So you'll find that out. Why does a wheel roll? And there are different parts to a wheel. So the wheel in itself is meaningless. So unless the wheel has got an axle, you can't carry any load on it. So if, let's say, prehistoric man wanted to carry a dead buffalo from wherever he's killed the buffalo to his cave, he would need a number of wheels, and he would need an axle to put the load on. So without an axle, a wheel is meaningless. Similarly, without the axle being in the center, if the axle is not in the center of the wheel, again it becomes meaningless. And therefore, there's a lot of engineering even in a simple thing that we see all around us. So recognizing this, there are a lot of attitudes as well as skills which are required in becoming an engineer. And for those of you who are in an engineering course, apart from the coursework that you do and apart from other things that you do, I would really request you and entreat you that try to build some of these attitudes. Try to look around you. Ye problem hai, how do I solve it? Like Sir was saying, pulling apart things, even a simple toy, mechanical toy, just pull it apart, try to put it back again. Does it work? How do all the gears and springs and everything, mesh together? Sometimes we overlook a lot of things, and we say, okay, this is fine, but somebody made it. Somebody thought of it first for the first time, and then of course others copied it. The second part is, where is engineering? We'll say, what is engineering? Okay, but so we see that it's a skill of problem solving. It needs a lot of attitude in terms of understanding a problem, believing that you can indeed solve it. So engineering is actually all around us, and that is something that we need to realize. So, for example, whether and I'm very fond of giving this. This is simple paper plane that young children make and throw. But to make a good aeroplane, a good paper plane takes a lot of engineering. And just as the aeroplane that you sit in and travel from whatever, Mumbai to Delhi or whatever, this also has everything that all the laws of physics apply to this. And all the forces which are supposed to be there on that plane apply to this. So the engineering of this plane so that it lands, smoothly, so that it goes a particular distance, and so on and so forth, is very much dependent on the kind of design that you make of this. And there are several designs. You might be surprised. Some people think that there are only one or two ways of making a plane, but probably if you search a little on the internet, you'll find that there are at least 10 different types of paper planes you can make, and each of them has got a specialty. So to give an example, it's advisable to have an angle out here. This angle out here, it's advisable. Why is that so? Because it's called the dihedral angle. So why is it so? Because when this plane is going, if it's got a thrust which is, if it's got a lift which is a little bit on this side, a little bit on this side, this stabilizes it. So this dihedral angle acts like a stabilizer. So what is problem is the solving. So if we just throw a plane to solving, no problem. But if you tell a person that, look, I want to carry this load, and that load might be paper clips, might be a small vial of medicine or whatever, carry it across from here to here. Let's say in the times of COVID, for instance, you have 2 balconies across, you just want to shoot something across, use this. But then you have to engineer it well. It's solving a problem. So that is where we sort of look. And connected to that, of course, is something that all of you must be familiar with, drone. there's a very small toy drone actually, and it's got a flight time of about 12 minutes. That's about all. But it can carry a load of about 80 grams. That's all. Right? But even given that, there is so much of engineering. If you look at each of the parts, there's so much of mechanical engineering which goes into the rotors. How do you place the rotor? There are two kinds of rotors. Otherwise, the lift will not happen in a way, and you won't be able to kind of move it direction that you want. And there's a lot of there's electronics because there's controller and so on and so forth. And there are motors. So here within this, you've got software, you've got hardware, you've got mechanical engineering, you've got electrical engineering, and you in the plastics, you've got materials science or materials engineering. So all of that in just one little point, which is there. Engineering is all around us, and you can pick up a problem, any problem. Say, I don't know if you ever. I'm sure a lot of you have been to Goa. And if you go to Goa, cashew nuts out there are supposed to be very good quality. But if you go to a cashew processing factory, you will see that cashew ka jo andar, there's a chilka on top of that, and it's a very tough chilka. It's not like a groundnut or a moongfali. It's difficult to break with your fingers. But in order to increase the yield, you have women sitting there and breaking that chilka which is there. And if you look at that, could you make a machine for that? Could you automate that, not to displace them, but to have save their fingers, because after some time the fingers get really cut. You get serious cuts on your fingers because of removing those things. In your own kitchens, you have your mother slicing whatever onions or XYZ. And you find so many gadgets which are there. You have that circular thing. You put in an onion and and onion ka bilkul chota tukda ho jata hai. That's a machine. That's an engineering solution. So look around you, see what is there, develop that attitude of doing things. And if you actually do some of them, even if you do 3 or 4 of them during your entire stay as an engineering student, then you would have done. You developed an attitude for engineering. Coming to engineering as a career, what do you look at for engineering as a career? So when I graduated, the one thing that I had was that, and of course it depends, that I wanted to do something good. I wanted to also. My economic situation at that time was such that I wanted to earn money to support my family. It's important. So I chose a field which would give me both kinds of things. And for training, I went to a place called Mazagon Dock, which is in Mumbai. For the first time in my life, I saw such huge machines. They were 3-4 times your size. Motors and rudders and hydraulic stuff, which was very huge, and it was awe-inspiring. When you look at big machinery and heavy machinery, it is something which is there. And even if you don't take up a career in Mazagon Dock, you can of course go to any of the heavy engineering industry and see what it's like. Even big valves which are there, sluice valves which are there, huge valves. How they operate, what is the kind of forces they require. It's really fascinating. So there's a wide range of careers you can take when you graduate out of engineering school. There's been a lot of emphasis in the past years on the importance of IT. Certainly IT is an important field. It doesn't require that much of investment to set up something which is an IT, but one must remember that in order to support all of us, in order to support everything which is going on around us, you have a dire need also of core engineers. So the core engineering field should never be forgotten. Things like mechanical engineering, civil engineering, electrical engineering, and we have of course electronics and communication engineering. All of these are equally important. They play a major role, a big role, a huge role in making our lives very, very comfortable. So in the rooms that you're sitting, you probably either have a fan or an AC or something going on. And that is not really possible without some core engineer, a mechanical engineer, or an electrical engineer having gotten together, found out how it is, a thermal engineer being able to figure out what is the heat exchange required, how to figure out that heat exchange, and so on and so forth. Right? So do pay a lot of attention also to core engineering. There is also important, it's also important to note that there is a shift, and the shift is very, very perceptible in industry, that there are lots of fields coming up where core engineers are going to be heavily in demand. And so, don't just concentrate on software courses or IT courses. There are people, some of you who might be really good at computer science and at coding and things like that. Certainly, you must find a career out there. But if coding or higher mathematics, which goes along with coding, doesn't really appeal to you that much, then it's important that you understand what mechanical engineering is all about. And have a new field coming up, which is electric vehicles, for example. A lot of electronics and electrical and batteries and so many other things out there. That's a whole new field. And it is bound to boom in the years to come. Coupled with the EV field is something called the field of fuel cells. So whether it's hydrogen or whatever, fuel cells which are there, which might ultimately replace the conventional batteries doing with now. There's another field of solar energy, or you can say renewable energy, solar and wind, where again there is a lot of demand and a lot of requirement of core engineers, both electrical, mechanical, electronics, and solar engineer, and all of these the renewable fields need a lot of electronics, because you can't have solar all the time. So you have charging circuits, you've got storage circuits, and so on and so forth, which uses a lot of electronics. In itself, there is a field in electronics called embedded electronics, and also coupled with that is a thing called Internet of Things. I'm sure you are all aware of it, much more than I would be. But these are two major fields where electronics and software are kind of marrying each other, creating products or helping to create products which will sort of bring up lots of new products, solve problems, help us to make things much more accessible and better and easier in our lives. Very much related to that is automation. So there is industrial automation, which is there, and one might think, some people do think that why should we have automation? After all, there are so many people who are without jobs and so on and so forth. So what automation is needed is sensible automation. So where either a human cannot do that work, or there's so much of precision required that the error rate for a human person doing that thing would become non-productive, is something where I think that automation ought to be used, and not blindly anywhere else. And then there are the fields, of course, as somebody mentioned, defense as well as medical devices, and as far as computer science, and an ubiquitous field is emerging, which is very loosely called artificial intelligence or machine learning, which is going to make an inroad into all kinds of fields, right from medicine to EVs to your perhaps managing your homes and so on and so forth. So that's a field that whether you know coding or you don't know, whether you're aware of or unaware of, it's at least you should know what AI can do and what AI or what ML, machine learning, can really do, capable of, and how are the things that what all things it can achieve. Lastly, I would like to mention that whatever engineering you do, sometimes we try to do engineering, of course, I said make life simpler, but it does not mean that we should try to preclude or exclude the ability of humans to form good habits. So if you're making something to just pick up garbage that people have thrown, it'll only encourage people to throw garbage all the more, because you have a machine now who can pick up garbage. So what difference does it make? And so on and so forth. So rather than that, if you invent a machine or you make a device or an application, whatever, which changes a human habit, which motivates people not to throw garbage, that would really lead to a lot of responsible engineering, so to say. So in a nutshell, engineering is all about problem solving. It requires specific attitudes. A lot of them are mentioned on the internet. Things like creativity, analytical ability to think logically, and most importantly, as in all other fields, is that of continuous learning. So if you're an engineer and you want to be an engineer, whether you are from a non-engineering institution or an engineering institution, try to take up a problem, make a project out of it, solve it. So if you've done that, then you would have done engineering and you would really enjoy doing that. You'll enjoy the outcome. Sometimes the outcome may not be as you expected. Sometimes there may be failure, but if you learn from each of the failures, you really learned something, and you can always go on something. And of course, as I mentioned, that one should give equal importance, or if not more importance, to core engineering, where mechanical, electrical, civil, and electronics and communication, and chemical engineering for that are basic disciplines which will support the outcome of solving problems. I mentioned some fields which are upcoming fields like EV and solar and embedded, as well as medical devices and defense. So that is, I leave you with that. And I hope that I've been able to add at least a small amount of motivation to your becoming an engineer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presence, your wise words, and the real life examples you shared, your experiences. It definitely helped us magnify our cause together here together today in the best possible way. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing and motivating us all on this day. With this, I would like to call Updesh Verma, sir. Sir, if you're available here.
Hi. Thank you, Anushka, and thank you all the participants as well as our esteemed speakers. So, I am audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So basically, yeah. So happy Engineers Day to all, and we have organized, as Anushka said, that this is our in the memory of Vishweswarai sir. We are celebrating this Engineers Day. So thank you all to be part of this nice event. And now, because this event is organized with the help of NEEV, IDYM, as well as Together We Dream. So we all are the partner of this event. And हम सब लोग जैसे NEEV के बारे में थोड़ा सा ललित जी बताया था, रोहित जी ने भी बताया था। ललित जी हिंदू कॉलेज में नीव का थोड़ा काम देखते हैं, डॉक्टर रोहित सिंह लाठर नॉर्थ कैप यूनिवर्सिटी है, वहाँ पे नीव के कोऑर्डिनेटर हैं. So we all are working for the betterment of the society through education. तो बेसिकली जो एम है नीव का वो भी यही है कि अगर जो बच्चे हैं, गरीब बच्चे हैं, वो स्कूल नहीं जा पाते, तो हम स्कूल को ही उन बच्चों के पास लेके आना है. तो बेसिकली हम लोग क्या करते हैं कि गांव में या स्लम एरियाज में जो भी बच्चे रहते हैं उन्हें एजुकेशन प्रोवाइड करने का काम करते हैं. उनको जो साफ सफाई है उनको बताते हैं कि कैसे रखनी चाहिए, कैसे उन्हें टाइम टेबल बनाना चाहिए, कैसे उन्हें एक स्ट्रीम लाइन में आना चाहिए. तो बेसिकली एजुकेशन से ही हम सब चीज़ प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं. तो नीव का उद्देश्य भी यही है कि भाई हम लोग सबको एजुकेटेड करें, सबको उनकी ड्यूटीज और राइट्स के बारे में जानकारी दें. हमारे अभी कुछ क्लासेस चल रही हैं, जैसे दिल्ली एनसीआर में है, मेरठ में स्लम एरियाज में चलती हैं, कुछ परतापुर है, वहाँ पे कुछ गाँव में चलती हैं. अभी हम लोग आईटी हैदराबाद है, एमपी में शिवपुरी है, और बहुत सारे ऐसे इंस्टीट्यूट हैं जिनके साथ हम कोलैबोरेशन कर रहे हैं. मेरठ यूनिवर्सिटी के साथ हम लोग का कोलैबोरेशन है कि जो भी सोशल एक्सटेंशन एक्टिविटीज़ होंगी वो नीव के थ्रू ही होंगी. और जैसे कि ललित जी ने बताया कि हमने ड्यूरिंग द कोविड डिसइंफेक्शन मशीन हम जो मशीन बनाई थी उसका भी सभी लोगों ने अप्रिसिएशन करा था. इवन हम लोगों ने अभी एक एयर फिल्टर भी बनाया है जो कि कोई भी टाइप के वायरस है या बैक्टीरिया है उसको अगर आप घर पे लगा दें या एसी के सामने लगाते तो ये वो जो एयर फिल्टर है वो सबको विद इन मिनट्स किल कर देता है. तो दीज आर द थिंग्स वी आर वर्किंग. जैसे कि ललित जी ने बताया कि वी आर फ्रॉम द नॉन इंजीनियरिंग बैकग्राउंड, बट इंजीनियर का मतलब जैसे कि रोहित जी ने बताया था कि कुछ भी चीज़ बनाना, कुछ भी चीज़ इनोवेट करना, वो सब चीज़ इंजीनियरिंग. सभी लोग कुछ ना कुछ जो पार्ट है लोगों का उसमें इंजीनियर बसा हुआ है. सो वी ऑल आर इंजीनियर्स बाय विद इन आवरसेल्व्स. तो हम ये छोटे छोटे काम कर रहे हैं जो नीव के थ्रू हम लोग कर रहे हैं. और ये वेबिनार्स हम लोग एजुकेशनल और मोटिवेशनल वेबिनार्स आप लोगों के लिए इसलिए रखते हैं जिससे कि आप भी मोटिवेट हो सकें और अपने आसपास जो है लोगों को समझा सके, उनको मोटिवेट कर सके कि हम लोग भी ऐसे काम कर सकते हैं. सो विदाउट एनी डिले नाउ हमारे जो गेस्ट हैं मिस्टर यादव, चांदना यादव जी, वो भी हमारे साथ हैं. तो आई एंड हेयर एंड अनुष्का जी प्लीज कॉल चांदना सर. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Hello, this is Yadav Chandna.
Yeah, welcome sir, welcome.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, yes sir, you are audible, perfectly audible. Also we have introduced you already, and now I introduce you again. Mr. Yadav Chandna ji is my senior from IIT Delhi. He is a most experienced engineer as well as IIM alumni, also IIT Delhi alumni. And without any delay हम लोग सर की जुबानी ही इनकी जो इंजीनियर बनने की एक यात्रा है बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग है, मैंने तो सुनी है. तो आप लोग के सामने भी सर उस चीज़ को रखें और हम लोग को ब्लेसिंग करें. यादव सर.
Yes. Well, सभी everybody has a dream, you see. कोई ये सोचता है मैं ये साइंटिस्ट बनूंगा, कोई सोचता है कि इंजीनियर बनूंगा, कुछ भी बनूंगा. हर आदमी कुछ अच्छा करने की कोशिश करता है. जो भी माँ बाप ऐसे कुछ सिखाते ही हैं, कुछ अच्छा करिए जिससे वो कुछ ना कुछ अच्छा आपका जिंदगी हो, मुश्किल नहीं हो. हमारे जमाने में तो बहुत मुश्किल हुआ करती थी पेरेंट्स की लाइफ, कि इनकम लेवल्स यूज्ड टू बी वेरी लो, खाना पीना मुश्किल से होता था. तो फिर भी सभी चाहते थे कि इंजीनियर बन जाओ. तो हेलो,
अरे क्या बोल रही थी ये तो बता.
हेलो.
Yes, sir, you're clear, audible. You can continue.
बीच में कोई I thought somebody was trying to tell something to me, maybe.
No.
Anyway.
You can continue.
Oh, okay. So, like नालायक तो माँ बाप सोचते थे कि ये पढ़ाई कर पाएगा या नहीं कर पाएगा आगे। तो मेरी मदर कहती थी कोई बात नहीं, अगर ज्यादा स्कूल कॉलेज में नहीं जा पाया तो घर के बाहर एक चने की दुकान ही खोल देंगे, इसी में ही बैठा रहेगा। तो चांस की बात थी, जिस दिन रिजल्ट आया स्कूल in our times, you see, result used to come from in the newspapers. It would be published. So on that day, everybody is out on the streets. ये न्यूज़पेपर वाला आएगा और आप दौड़ दौड़ के अपना पहले रिजल्ट देखोगे. So we also I went there. My results at the top. It was CBSE. I had done fairly well. First division तो आई गई थी, उतना ही अनाउंस करते थे. I was quite disappointed कि भी मेरिट लिस्ट में नाम नहीं था. 15 लोगों का नाम डिस्प्ले होता था. And I was expecting to be there, although parents thought I was a useless fellow. So, but all the same, that name wasn't there. And नीचे, everybody said, इसका कहाँ से आएगा? IIT का result था. So my name was there in IIT list and I never applied to any other college. सीधा IIT में चले गए. IIT में जाने के लिए भी पहले कोई ख्वाहिश तो नहीं थी, कुछ समझ में नहीं आता था. But then when I went to buy the application form, IIT दिल्ली की बिल्डिंग इतनी अच्छी थी कि यहीं पढ़ना चाहिए कुछ तो बहुत अच्छा हो जाएगा इतनी अच्छी बिल्डिंग में. तो for that, of course, after my CBSE exams, 11th हमारे जमाने में हुआ करता था, I decided that I must try for IIT and sincerely पढ़ाई कर लेते हैं. कुछ 15-20 दिन या एक महीना कुछ था, तो पढ़ाई कर लिया. No coaching, nothing. कोचिंग वाले होते हैं बदमाश. जिसका नाम आ जाता है उसको उसके घर चिट्ठी आ जाती है. You are invited for lunch. I went to have lunch at one of the coaching centers in Pusa Road. वहाँ पे गए तो उन्होंने हमारा नाम डाल दिया कि coached by us or and so. ठीक है, doesn't matter. First job मेरा वो था, या let's say source of income वो थी. Yeah, I went for a lunch and the college in consideration for my name in their list. So half the times I can tell you कि जितने आप नाम वाम देखते हो, you can't believe them, you know, कि ये हमारे यहाँ पे पढ़ा हुआ, ये किया, वो किया. कोई coaching center is all nonsense. Whether one needs or not coaching, I doubt. I don't think you need coaching. I felt it was very good that I didn't join coaching. के घर से जाके 2 घंटा तो आप आना जाना, अगर आप कोचिंग करते हो, अटेंड करते हो, तो 2 घंटा आना जाना है. बेटर अवॉइड इट. सो उतना में मुझे I managed to study that much. It was very interesting because first day gaya to I felt I'll get through. And that night I must have studied the whole night till about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. We lag raha hai to why not put in the best foot forward, and IIT mein admission ho gaya. So that's a very interesting story. But then after IIT again, you know, parents used to think ke to ek tukka lag gaya. So and not many in my class also expected me to get into IIM. Everybody tries at IIT or IIM or whatever it is. Not everybody, but most of the guys used to try in our times. I don't know what is the situation now, but वहाँ पे भी हो गया एडमिशन. तो पेरेंट्स को लगा कि भाई ठीक है, इज नॉट अ बैड पर्सन, कुछ हो गया होगा, 2 बार तुक्के लग गए. But then after 4 years, I decided to join. I wanted to learn something on exports because I was working in the export line despite my. So I applied for IFT, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. That used to be a one-year course, full-time course. I thought I would leave my job and learn something in my life. So पहले तो 5-7 साल ऐसे मस्ती मारी थी. I decided to learn something. And I joined IFT, and it was a great learning thing because I never missed a single class. I didn't miss a single minute of any lectures. This thing, no outing, nothing, no mask cutting, nothing. किसी चीज में कुछ नहीं किया, एक चीज सीखी, and that helped me throughout my life. And I took to a lot of research. We used to do a lot of research at IFT, studying all the products, markets, and everything. that helped me in good stead after. But then I was mostly into sales and basically what they call as a SBU head, strategic business unit head. It's responsible for the profits of a division. At a very young age, I got into that role, and 27, 28 hoga. आगे बढ़ते गए, one fine day I decided to get into some kind of a manufacturing. So छोटा हो, बड़ा हो, whatever it is, and उसी में करेंगे, otherwise job नहीं करना है. So for 1 year, I did extreme R&D. Overnight, I identified a product which somebody told me there was only one producer in the world, and I studied roughly what is the kind of margin. I said it appeared to be 70-80% margin. I said गलती होगी हमारा तो नहीं आएगा as big as a giant multinational. उससे ज़्यादा ही आएगी. So why not give it a try? If I managed to make it good product, and I was in a job to 9 बजे तक I used to come back after 10 o'clock. So from then until 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the evening, in the morning, early morning, I used to work, and I worked for about a year or so. My dining table became a laboratory with chemicals on top.
Yadav, sorry to
सारे experiments करते थे.
Yadav sir, can you open your video so that other people can see you and can be motivated by your speech? Can you please open your video, sir, if possible?
Is it on now?
I'm not able to see.
Yeah.
I don't know others
Now?
can. Yeah. Now it's okay, sir. Now it's fine.
Now it's
Thank
okay.
you.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
I
sir.
think I got a message that
Now it's fine, sir. Fine. It's fine. Again disappeared.
दुनिया में I'm sharing all these things, negative चीजें जो दुनिया में चलती हैं. How there's a small story that I read sometime in my childhood. Try and try again. Robert Bruce and the Spider. इसके बहुत versions हर जगह पे मिलते हैं. You must not give up and you must not lose heart. Try करते रहना चाहिए. So that particular year, I worked for about 1 year, 9 o'clock till 4 o'clock, doing work with chemicals, formulation bana diya at the end of 1 year. Everybody had told me this is not possible. Various great scientists, great laboratories, such resolution, rheology देखना पड़ेगा, ये देखना पड़ेगा. Without that, we can't do, and it's going to take about a very, very long time and huge expenditure. Now, many of these big places, they do have, but then constraints बहुत होते हैं. And then at the end of it, nobody was very sure that they would be able to make it, because there was only one producer in the whole world and he had a monopoly. In those days, he had a turnover about $1 billion with just one single product. That company had a turnover about $15-20 billion. Out of that, this single product was about $1 billion, and with a profitability of out of $800 to $800 million. So almost 80% profit hota tha. I just saw that and I started working on it. I said, kar lunga. Everybody told me, tum kahan se kar loge? You don't have any knowledge, you don't have equipment, you don't have anything. Tum kahan se kar sakte ho? And you are overestimating yourself was the word used by a lot of people. I said, doesn't matter, let me give it a try. मुझे principles समझ में आ रहे हैं, मुझे लगता है. So basic principles of the product I felt I knew, and I started working experiments. I must have done thousands of experiments, and finally, when I succeeded, I decided to quit my job. But I put a very small target for myself that I should not spend more than 30,000, 10,000 rupees on making an entry and breaking even. And I put a target of 10,000. 10,000 nahi hua, 30,000 pe I broke even. I said, I had grown up children, you see, and I had to conserve all my savings and take a risk of eating into the savings. So, so this is a story of not just engineering, but also entrepreneurship that I did. And fortunately, I started getting orders, and of course, markets had changed. A lot of things were there. It wasn't a great market in India, but still, we managed to grow up and up. And आगे जाके I did about 3 patents, and I hold the patent for I developed even the pastime myself. The first person, another patent I have, and there are 2 others, and they are all in electronics, mind you. And I'm not an electronics guy. Aditya is my batchmate from my, but he is an electrical guy. हमारे ज़माने में electrical ही होती थी. There was no electronics and computers. Later on, they did all that, and he's a wizard in electronics. But I wasn't. But I hold 3 patents in electronics. How and why? It's not very difficult to understand. I just want to share that innovation, inventions, it's not a difficult game. It's a pretty simple game. You have to be focused, you have to be logical, you have to analyze things as much as possible on the subject. It need not be depth, but width is required, because width gives you a lot of scope. You see, it's like scanning the sky and see all along. One is telescopic vision, कि आप दूर तक देख रहे हो, तारे को ढूंढ रहे हो, तो वो तो करना ही होता है. But most important is किस side पे हम काम करें, तो उसके लिए पूरे sky की vision चाहिए होती है. So you need a lot of width on the same subject. So I did all that. In fact, I could identify certain areas and opportunities, and I'm doing certain things. And then we have about 2 crores from there into RFID, called RFID, we invented a few things. Those are my personal inventions. And all on the block. So even now, it's the most advanced app in the world in that area. So it's in not active now. Which even in the area of chemicals, for the past 4 months, I'm focusing on a particular problem area for Toyota and other Japanese companies, automotive. This research about 20 years ago, where I looked and started my business. I think I should be able to do. As I went along, it wasn't it wasn't the first instance, but then it wasn't difficult. We must have done a few hundred events and 1,000 of them. And so I put them on the task and do the experiment. And just few does succeeded. It's product control. Its unit in Japan. and we have managed. So, if this, yes, there are two things. You know that there are two things. And
तो ये काम बड़ा फास्ट हो रहा है
यादव सर प्लीज अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ आप अभी म्यूट पे हैं
बात कराएगा जिस यूनिवर्सिटी पे कोई रिकॉर्ड ही नहीं था आप
Sir, I think you are on mute.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you are. You are audible now.
Okay. Okay. India is the most advantageously placed country in the world for doing research because our cost of research is the lowest in the world. I can assure you the expenditure with which I have done my research of this latest, I'm probably going to apply for a patent if I think it's a unique thing and first in the world. Cost would have been at least 100 times higher. And you in India to do this research. And if I have the so just not counting my personal time into account. I'm talking of my others inside this thing, plus wages and salaries of the staff. That would be just about 1.5 to 2 lakh rupees, which is not much, keeping in mind the returns that one can get out of it. So I would strongly urge all of you that try to innovate, and innovate. Try to invent, and invent. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of anything that of failures. The most most important thing is not to be afraid of failures, because every failure gives you something to learn, except one failure, which is failure to try again. Okay. So I hope you're all young people, and I want you all to not to get awed by all the great qualifications, experience, and education that you hear, and Ivy League stuff IITs, IIMs and all. There's nothing in that. There's nothing in all these things. Most important thing is just learning the basics. 10th, 12th graduation level knowledge has so much to give you. It has so much in it that if you just revisit your school and college level books and look at them properly, there's little that you would need from the world to innovate and invent world-class products. Your basics have to be strong. Your logical, analytical processes have to be clear. If this, then what? That's all. And you can invent. Try doing it. I'll be trying to, after a few years, I intend to spread this fire of innovation and invention to the villages of India, spread it all the villages, and we just trying to work out how we can make sure that India becomes the biggest place for innovation. Let me give you the background. I've worked with Dr. Kalam in an innovation, let's say, organization, trying to spread innovation, trying to innovate, and trying to recognize innovation. He was the president of India, of course, and I'm sure you all know. I was nominated for a national award for innovation, and I've been an invitee to guide, let's say, IITians. There's an institution called FITT, where all these inventive projects are incubated in IIT. So with those credentials, yes, I was never, I didn't feel that they were, I could not pursue those things. But somewhere down the line, I do intend, and I'm sure if I can be of any guidance and support to anybody, I won't mind doing it. Thank you very much, Updeshji, for having called me. And I don't know whether I fit into all these things, but whatever I had, a little bit that I had to share on this Engineers Day, because in my opinion, engineering is not just engineering as we study it. It is science plus. It is science, application of science, and it is a very, very simple thing. One should not complicate engineering. Just keep on applying whatever you learned, and that's engineering. Into when you put it on hard matter, when you put it in soft matter, you call it computer engineering, computer software, and it's great. All of us are engineers, irrespective of what field we are. There's social engineering, there is biomedical engineering, there is everything is engineering in this world. Thank you very much, Updeshji. I'll take your leave now.
Thank you very much, sir. So if anybody have any questions, they can ask maybe 1-2 questions from Yadav sir. Anushka, Shivam, Krishna, if you have any questions, you can please ask.
Hello, sir. I would like to I would like to ask if you can tell us, like, is it important to get into the IIT for the students? Like, there is a hype of IIT, and you cannot do engineering without IIT or NIT. But still, is it very important, or like we can do go anywhere? Or
Not at all. 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 IIT is everything, but that doesn't mean that it's, you see, they teach and teach everywhere. The question is how much you learn. So it's your ability to learn that matters, not ability, your willingness to learn. Most of the times we are closed. We are not serious about learning. Whether it is IIT or non-IIT, I can tell you that. 80% of the students at IIT don't study. So don't go into all those things. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Okay. So it all depends on who, how you study. So I just talk about a few things. You see, what changed my life was just knowledge of knowing how to learn. So at a place called IIFT, I just decided to learn, and I was learning. So learning, one is from others. Second is self-learning. Because once you're out of a college, you're not going to have a teacher. You have to learn on your own by observing things and analyzing, creating your own hypotheses, testing them out, and thereafter, if you fail, you're not created this thing, trying once again, feedback and so on and so forth. So this is the very simple process of learning. Experiment, observation, inference. Add to that, design your experiment properly. At the end, when you got your observation, you have a feedback thing. What is your conclusion? And then what next? Go back into the loop. What next? If this, then what? That's about all. You don't have to do anything. Keep on learning. Keep on learning. But the essence of learning is truthfulness. You have to be truthful to yourself. And that's the most difficult thing in life. Because when I first did my experiment, I had a hypothesis that this is how I can make this particular chemical, right? I thought I had done some great working. And when it didn't work, well, I could have felt bad about it, could have rejected myself, because it's an attack on my personal self, admission that I made a mistake. It's very difficult to admit that you made a mistake. So I said, yes, I made a mistake. So what? There is a mistake. So what? That's where I learned that I have to be firstly truthful to myself, that I don't have all the great knowledge that I'm talking of. I'm not a great person. I'm a very simple, ordinary person who doesn't know the subject at all. Whatever I know is not enough. Since it is not enough, I must learn more. So I went back to the study table, started learning, then experimenting. Again, I felt I'd failed, so on and so forth, so on and so forth. Every day I would do at least about 20, 30 experiments from 9 o'clock in the night till about 3 o'clock. But the most important thing I learned is being truthful. Most of the times today, these days, you see a lot of social media has come up, a lot of interactions take place. You can never draw right conclusions, even about the society. If you don't have facts, you have to stick to facts, howsoever bitter they are, about yourself, about the leaders that you follow or support. So you have to be factually correct. You have to be truthful to yourself and to everyone. Okay. And then the process has to be very simple. Process is very, very simple and clearly given. We don't actually read it that way. Experiment, observation, inference. But first, design of experiments. Design the experiment properly. There is not a laboratory assistant or a teacher who's going to tell you, okay, this is the experiment, conduct this experiment, take the observation, and this is draw the inference. No. What experiment should I do? Why should I do this experiment? Okay. What if I do it this way? Why not do it this way? So those are the things that you have to spend some time on. Give a thought, discuss, design your experiment properly, and fine. If you fail, then you know you have to redesign your experiment. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to welcome Mr. Ratnesh Mishra. Sir is the founder, president, IDYM Foundation, MTech and BTech in aerospace from IIT Bombay. Has also held a prominent position of project lead of the first student satellite, Pratham. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, hello. Thank you, Shivam, and thank you, everyone. So firstly, a happy Engineers Day to all. And thank you so much for inviting to be part of this session. What a wonderful insight from Aditya sir and Yadav sir. So right from the basics of engineering to deep dive into what we can do it. So I'm also sort of, I consider myself engineer. जब भी घर वाले मुझे सवेरे विश करते हैं कि हाँ हैप्पी इंजीनियर्स डे, तो आई वॉज पार्ट ऑफ अ सैटेलाइट टीम जिसमें मैंने स्पेस की चीज़ों पे काम किया. आई वर्कड ऑन अलॉन्ग विथ इसरो फॉर लॉन्चिंग अ सैटेलाइट. सो दैट वाज द टाइम व्हेन आई एक्चुअली फेल्ट कि इंजीनियरिंग के जो मार्वल्स या हम चीज़ें डिफाइन करते हैं, वो जब हमने जो जो बचपन में हम टीवी में देखा करते थे कि वो लॉन्च की चीज़ें, जब फाइनली हम उस जगह पर थे या शार की उस जगह पे जहाँ से लॉन्च किया गया, तो वो चीज़ें जब हमने देखी तब इंजीनियरिंग के क्या क्या चीज़ें हो सकती हैं और उससे क्या क्या हम चीज़ें बना सकते हैं, इसके बारे में पूरा पता चला. और जैसा यहाँ पर लोगों ने कहा कि हम इंजीनियरिंग क्यों करते हैं, कि कुछ चीज़ें हैं जो सॉल्व करते हैं. तो एक मेरे घर वाले मुझसे कहते थे कि जब मैं सैटेलाइट में काम करता था, तो इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ एक्चुअली बिल्डिंग थिंग्स हमने खुद लाइफ बनाना भी सीखा है. और जब हम सैटेलाइट बना रहे थे तो शायद उसको बनाते बनाते हमने अपनी लाइफ बनाना और अपनी चीज़ें बनाना सीखा. तो इसीलिए आप जब देखेंगे तो बहुत सारे इंजीनियर्स कन्वर्ट होके डॉक्टर बन जाते हैं, इंजीनियर्स कन्वर्ट होके एक्टर बन जाते हैं, इंजीनियर्स कन्वर्ट होके कुछ भी और बन जाते हैं. इंजीनियर्स एक ऐसा ढांचा है जिससे कनेक्टेड आप बहुत सारी चीज़ें कर सकते, क्योंकि जो इंजीनियरिंग का बेसिक है कि आप चीज़ें बिल्ड करें, आप चीज़ें बनाएं, वो एक ऐसी चीज़ है जो आपको लाइफ और आपके आसपास की चीज़ें सॉल्व करना सिखाती है. तो उसके थ्रू आपने देखा होगा कि बहुत सारे लोग एक्चुअली स्पेशली इन इंडिया इंजीनियरिंग करते हैं, उसके बाद हम सोचते हैं कि क्या करना है. तो बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ें हैं कि आप सिंस वो बचपन से देख रहे हैं, आप अपने घर पर कोई भी मैकेनिक आता है, आप वो इंजीनियरिंग देख रहे हैं, आप बचपन से कोई फैन बनाने आया है, कोई एसी बनाने आया है, हम उस चीज़ों से कनेक्टेड रहते हैं. इसलिए इंडिया में आपने देखा होगा तो बहुत सारे इंजीनियर्स क्यों हैं, क्योंकि हम उनके बारे में बचपन से जानते हैं, चीज़ें सीखते हैं. तो आप जो भी चीज़ें उसमें करना चाहें, आप उसको जितना बचपन से ढाल पाएं, वो हमेशा आपके लिए आगे आने वाले टाइम के लिए कारगर साबित होता है. तो इसी एक छोटी सी मुहिम का पार्ट हमने भी स्टार्ट किया था एक IDYM फाउंडेशन के थ्रू. सो IDYM फाउंडेशन में हम स्कूल कॉलेजेस के सभी बच्चों को स्पेस एजुकेशन या रॉकेट, एरोस्पेस, एनीथिंग ऑन दिस जिसका लोगों को इजीली एक्सेसिबल नहीं है चीज़ें, उसके बारे में हम फ्रीली प्रमोट करते हैं. ऑनलाइन ऑफलाइन ऐसे बहुत सारे सेशंस कि जो शायद आपको बचपन में कुछ ऐसा ट्रिगर हो जाए कि आप उस चीज पे या आप उस जैसे मैं बचपन में सपने देखता था कि मैं आसमान छूऊंगा या फिर दुनिया घूमूंगा. तो वैसा ही एक सपना समहाउ ऐसा लिंक हुआ कि मैं उस सैटेलाइट पे काम किया जिसने सिर्फ आसमान ही नहीं स्पेस को छुआ, और दैट ऑल्सो रिवॉल्व्स अराउंड अर्थ. तो मैं अपने आने वाले बच्चे को भी बोल सकता हूँ कि मैंने आसमान में कुछ भेजा है जो कि एक सैटेलाइट है जो अभी भी स्पेस में घूम रहा है. तो इस तरह का जो चीज़ है, तो जो एक्सेसिबिलिटी, जो नॉलेज हमें मिला सिंस मैं IIT बॉम्बे से ग्रेजुएट हुआ, तो वहाँ पर वो जो चीज़ें मुझे एक्सेस मिली, वो हम किस तरह से बच्चों को पास ऑन कर सकें और चीज़ें बता पाएँ, सिखा पाएँ. तो बस इसी मुहिम का पार्ट एक है IDYM फाउंडेशन, एक NGO जिसके थ्रू हम लोगों को कनेक्टेड हैं. और बस यही छोटा सा मेरा वाक्य था इंजीनियरिंग डे को लेके, और आप सभी को इंजीनियरिंग डे की बहुत सारी बधाई. And a special thanks to TWD team and Neve team for arranging this wonderful session. And so yes, over to you, Shivam and Updeshi. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now I would like to call Krishna Gopal for a vote of thanks. Krishna, are you there? Updesh sir, would you like to add on something?
Hello, am I
Yeah,
audible?
Krishna. Yeah, you are audible.
A very good evening to everybody who supported us in organizing this successful event. Today, on this Engineer Day, when we are talking about innovations and how we can like add value to the people, a very insight message which was shared by to share my start this together. चांदना सर ने कहा था कि we first must have an hypothesis कि ऐसा कुछ हो सकता है या फिर ये चीज हो सकती है, पॉसिबल है. तो this idea of Together We Dream started with a hypothesis कि अगर आपका सपना होता है तो eventually human brain will figure out ways to complete it. अगर आपने सपना देखा है, serious है, so human mind will figure out ways to do it. This was the hypothesis that I had. So and I had this hypothesis after reading Kalam. ने सपना देखा है तो आप और ऐसे एस्पिरेंट जो अपना सपना अचीव करने के लिए मेहनत करने इंफॉर्मेटिव गाइड प्रैक्टिकल बोला है, लेकिन आई बिलीव दुनिया बेहतर हुई है लोगों के सपने की वजह से. somebody dreamt of this iPhone. some ड्रीम ऑफ जनरेशन. तो उसके साथ ऑल द काफी जो वी विल ट्राई कि हम ऐसा कुछ कर सकें जो सबके लिए एक बेटर वर्ल्ड और एक also Prof. Colleague, and he really inspired me like career and all. Once he asked me what you wanted to become, and I wanted to be a teacher, and he was really motivating at that time as well. Thank you for being such a wonderful teacher. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so thank you very much to all. Maybe we will be organizing such wonderful talks in the future also with IDYM and in association with Together We Dream. And the certificates, who need the certificate will be distributed soon on the WhatsApp groups. So please be there on the WhatsApp groups, and for further future events, if you would like to attend, the information will be shared through WhatsApp group or Telegram group. So thank you very much to all to attend this webinar and making it most beautiful webinar. Thank you very much to all our senior guests, Yadav sir, Aditya sir, Lalit ji, Rohit ji, Ratnesh, Krishna, Shivam. So thank you very much to all. So maybe now the time is over, so maybe we can close this meeting, and hope to meet you soon in the next webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all for being the part of this webinar.
Thank you, Deshdi. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Shivam, you can close the meeting. Or
okay, sir.